What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of JY Throws. I'm here inside the indoor football facility today, and I'm gonna have practice going on in the background, working on the same things that I've been doing the last couple days. But while that's going on, I wanted to cover all of the tips and tricks and things that I could think of to help you get a Division I scholarship for throwing. The first thing that I want you to understand is how scholarships work for Division I programs. For a fully funded school, there's 12.6 scholarships for men and 18 scholarships for women, and you have about 30 men on a team and about 30 women on a team. So not everyone can get a full scholarship. But the nice thing about track and field is that they can hand out partial scholarships. So even if you aren't throwing far enough to get a full ride, there's also the option to get a partial scholarship if coaches see enough value in you. And that's what I want to help break down today so you can maximize your value to the coaches. So in order for me to explain how to maximize your value, I want you to understand what a coach is looking for that will make you valuable. So the athletic director of a program hires the head coach of the track and field program, and the track and field head coach's job is to get as many points as possible at the conference meet and at the NCAA championships. So his job is to hire assistant coaches that can get athletes to come in, teach them technique, and get them to score points at those two main meets. So the way the points work is that for first place you get 10 points, second place you get 8 points, and it continues down 6, and then goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 point at 8th place. So the program wants to get athletes that are scoring in that top 8 as much as possible. So the assistant coach for each event group is trying to recruit athletes to get as many points as possible so that it can make the program look good, which makes the head coach looks good, which makes the athletic director happy, which makes whoever the athletic director is trying to please happy. So the unfortunate thing about the NCAA program is that it kind of comes down to you being points for the team or not. If you're looking to get a full ride scholarship, they need to utilize those points. So ideally, schools will want people that are getting 10 points at conference if you're going to be getting that full ride scholarship. So look up conference results for schools that you want to go to and look at the top 8 and what those distances are, and you can get a better idea of how far you need to throw to make yourself valuable to the coaches. So for hammer throw in high school, you're going to want to be looking at distances around 230 feet, probably around 200 feet for discus, and like 65 feet for shot put if you want to be considered for a full ride. And even then, the idea is that the coach is getting you and hoping that you can reproduce those same distances with the heavier implements. So that's when they want to look for athletes that are big and strong and have potential, which you can also use to your benefit. So your potential to improve is the second thing that the coach is going to be looking at. Of course, the first thing is just having skill and having the distances already and having the size so they know they can get you to reproduce those distances with the heavier implements. But on top of that, a good coach will be looking at you and seeing what your weaknesses are, what you can still improve on. And even if you didn't throw the biggest numbers in high school, you want the coach to see enough potential in you that they'll help push you to get to those far distances in college. So one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is doing multiple different events. If you've got a coach that can teach you, definitely start doing another event or multiple if you can, because the more opportunities you have to score points, the less far you need to throw in each event to get to that 10 points to be worth the scholarship money. And if you're an undersized guy, doing hammer throw is a great event because you don't need to be huge for hammer throw. That's an event of speed, especially in high school, and you can throw some good distances to get coaches to give you that full ride scholarship. The benefit to doing hammer throw is that you can also do weight throw indoors. So that's another meet that you can compete in, similar to shot put where you've got outdoor and indoor shot put. So that's 2 opportunities a year for you to score points at conference, as opposed to discus and javelin that are just in the outdoor. So even if you just do discus or javelin, it's hard to justify a full ride because you're only competing outdoors and your scholarship's used up, so indoors they don't get any points out of you. Next, I want to address lifting in the weight room. You don't need to be insanely strong coming out of high school to be getting that full ride scholarship. In fact, I would say the most important thing that you can do is just focus on not getting injured. I made a video about lifting and things that I wish I knew. You can check that out in the description below. And in there, again, I emphasize the importance of not getting injured in the weight room, especially because in high school, strength doesn't play as much of a role in the distances that you throw. And focusing on technique, you're going to get a lot bigger throws and you're going to stay healthy so you can get more consistent training. And then a college coach is going to look at you, see that you threw far distances from having good technique. They can get you strong in college, no problem. You've got 4 or 5 years there of lifting to get you strong enough to handle the heavier implements. And I'm not saying don't lift. You want to be getting about 3 to 4 days a week of lifting still, but just don't go in with the meathead approach of trying to get as strong as possible, as fast as possible, and injuring yourself, missing months of training, because I did it and I had back surgery when I was in college and I had wrist surgery when I was in college. And the biggest lesson looking back is that if I didn't go as hard as fast and built up my resistance to injury from strengthening my muscles and tendons over time, I would have had way more training than I did. I missed like 2 years of college from pushing myself too hard when I was injured and not listening to my body. So lift, but be safe and throw as much as you can. I want to leave you guys with a few tips and strategies that you can use when looking at schools so that you don't get caught in a program that you don't want to be in. I spent 2 years at the University of Arizona, and I had an amazing time there, met a lot of great people, but my coach lost it. But I came to UVA, started working with Martin, who as a human being is one of the greatest people. And looking back at college, some of my favorite memories are the life lessons that he taught me, and he made me accountable for stuff and punished me if I wasn't on time, but cared enough to go the extra mile. And I hated school, but he cared so much that he would stay in his office, read my homework assignments, just so he could ask me questions on them after to make sure that I was reading them. And it's the things that he did for me that I saw that there's actually coaches that care and will go the extra mile to help the athlete and don't look at you as just a point. It's they genuinely want you to develop and get better and be a better human being. So the biggest thing I would say is, first of all, finding a coach that has time for you. If there's a coach that has young children, it's going to be tough for them to put in the hours that they need. And I'm not saying to study with you, but just even to be there at practice or go with you to the training room or help stretch you before practice if you need that. Because even though you need to learn to do the stuff for yourself, having someone show you how to do it and do it with you the first few times helps you really see and understand what you actually need to do and the amount of work that it goes into it. So if you're shopping around for schools, try to have a genuine conversation with the athletes there and ask how the coach is as a human being. If he puts the time in, or if he has to leave to go do stuff while you're lifting, so he's never there for lifting and he doesn't show up for practice or whatever it is. And really there's no way to know what coach you're going to get along with until you test your personality with theirs. But just really try to find the right one, because I wish I had those extra 2 years with Martin to continue to progress, and maybe that would have helped me avoid needing surgery. And who knows, and what's done is done. I'm trying to make it easier for you guys. Super pleased with the feeling of things towards the end of practice and working on that finish, keeping a nice block, finishing down the middle without pulling off with my shoulders. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, subscribe for more. I will see you in the next one.